right, good evening, everybody. Welcome. We're at the midpoint of the school year. Welcome to the January 27th meeting. Would you all please rise for the flag salute? All right, the meeting is posted in accordance with Chapter 231, PL 1975. Mr. Palladino, would you please call the roll?
Trustee Gillis.
Here.
Trustee Leone. Trustee Muniz. Trustee Massagia.
Here.
Trustee Pacheco.
Here.
Vice President Darrow.
Here.
President Benamini.
Yes, I'm here. Sorry. All right, and can we have an approval for our minutes, the minutes from December 16th and January 2nd, December 16th, the closed session and public session. Do we have a motion?
Motion.
And a second?
I'll second that.
Mr. Palladino, please call the roll.
Trustee Gillis.
Abstain from December 16th since I wasn't here.
Trustee Leone.
Abstain.
Trustee Massagia.
Yes.
Trustee Pacheco.
Yes.
Vice President Darrow.
Yes.
President Benamini.
Yes. All right, and we'll start with our presentations for this evening. So our school representative, our student government representative, Candy Dong, welcome. And I think you have some information for us.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. My name is Candy Dong, and I'm your student board representative. First, I would like to offer our congratulations to all the students who are being recognized for their achievements tonight. In O News, on Wednesday, January 22nd, the SGO hosted a successful bingo night for students with 72 pre-sale tickets sold and over 140 participants. Last Thursday, Belleville High School hosted a trade presentation. Students had the opportunity to explore trade and manufacturing careers through hands-on demonstrations and tools. In new news, we would like to recognize and congratulate the BHS cheerleading team who are currently competing in Dallas, Texas. If you're looking for a place to do your homework or receive extra assistance from the National Honor Society, CASA is here for all students from grades 7 through 12. The location is at 522 Cortlandt Street in Belleville, New Jersey, Monday through Thursday, 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. The SGO will host a blood drive on February 7th. Please sign up during your lunch period, or you can scan the QR code on the flyers posted around the school. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, and we'll move into our reports from administration. Our superintendent, Mr. Parapato.
Thank you, Madam President. This evening we have a few presentations that we'd like to make. Our first presentation by Ms. Omari, if she's here, from the middle school language arts teacher, has several presentations that she'd like to make.
Good evening, everyone. A few of our Belleville Middle School students have won the Young Writers Fright Club contest. The students were prompted to write a Halloween-themed creative narrative using 100 words. The following students won the contest: Juretzi Merhias, Next up, we have Mia Tortorolo. Come on up. Michelle Villa. Ronnie Jimenez. Tatiana Mendez. Denise Guerra. Alexis Cabalba. Mason Barreto. Alexa McIntosh. Gavin Leono. Nikaya Bay. Damian Bueno. Julia Iskander. Jasmine Marquise. And last but not least, Sophia Nugent. Congratulations to all the students.
Congratulations, our young writers. Yep. Oh, wait, did I write? Yeah. At this time, I'd like to call Mr. Fabiano to come up. He has a presentation he'd like to make for financial math.
Okay, good evening, everyone. My name is Gerard Fabiano. I'm a teacher here at Belleville High School, and I also am the advisor for the FBLA Club, which is the Future Business Leaders of America. Every year we compete in both the regional competition, and this year we got invited to go to the regional summit at Seton Hall University. So it was very exciting. We had a lot of students compete, and we actually had one student who's here today, Fabian Alva. He placed first place in the financial math competition. He competed against over 100 students throughout the region, and the financial math basically consisted of percentages, depreciation, interest rates. So he did a really good job, and he got first place. So I just wanted to congratulate Fabian on that. All right, so Fabian's here with the other FBLA members as well, so they could come up and we could get a picture. But Fabian, here's your trophy and your award. I want to thank Mr. Rhodes and the Board of Education for always supporting the FBLA. It's a great club, and we do a lot of competitions, so thank you guys. There you go, Fabian. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Take a picture, yeah. Yeah. Okay. You guys can come up too to take a picture real quick, the FBLA guys, yeah. Yep. Okay, cool.
Want to move in the front here?
Yeah, that'd be good, thank you, yeah.
The Board of Education and Administration would also like to congratulate all the students of the month for December. So we'd like to congratulate all of you for the fine work that you're doing and doing. Also, just for some notes, the Middle School Parent Program of Studies is putting on a presentation. That program will start, there'll be 2 sessions. Session 1 will be February 4th from 6 to 8 p.m. It'll be in person at the middle school auditorium. There'll be a second session, February 6th from 6 to 8. It'll be virtual. More information will be forthcoming as you get closer to those dates. So I just want to make sure everybody's informed against the Middle School Parent Program of Studies presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Parapetto. And I'd like to formally welcome Dr. D'Elia to the dais. Dr. D'Elia, if you have any reports for us.
Just thank you, Madam President. Just 2 quick, I'll call them announcements that just to refer the audience to agenda items 11.23 and 11.24 that I'll be speaking to briefly. First, I'd like to speak to the partnership that we're entering with Montclair State University, and we're very fortunate to have a representative from Montclair State University here who will announce and put a little recap to the formal partnership that we're forming with them to take place for the next 3 years in Belleville. It's a pilot program on PLCs, and I'd like to ask Dr. Baglieri if you'd like to come up and please say a few words about the partnership itself.
Hello, everybody, and thank you so much for this partnership. As you know, Montclair State University and Belleville Public Schools has been in partnership for many years through the Montclair State University Network for Educational Renewal, and I want to thank all members for your continued support of our partnership through that work. And I'm very excited to be part of expanding our partnership through professional learning communities that we hope will serve your teachers as well as our pre-service teachers. And I think that partnership will serve as an ongoing source of renewal for both of our work together, and hopefully bring you some fantastic new teachers too, like one of them who presented tonight. And so that was just a great coincidence, and I'm glad to be able to reference it. So thank you so much for your investment in us, and we are so excited to invest more in you. Thank you.
Yeah, you're not getting away that quick. I'd like to invite Madam President and Mr. Vice President, if you'd like to memorialize the moment with a picture with Dr. Baglieri, and also like to acknowledge the efforts of Mr. Lipo, Ms. Shanklin, Ms. McIntyre, Ms. Kuko, Ms. Marietto, and Mr. Mediate in their bringing this partnership to the board agenda tonight. So, Ms. Shanklin, you want to come up? No? Anyone else that I called here? No? Thank you very much, Dr. Baglieri. We really do appreciate everyone's partnership in advancing the district forward and absolutely finding wonderful educators such as Ms. Amari. So thank you. The second agenda item is something that is probably going to be expanded upon by, I would imagine, other board members as I announce it, which is agenda item 11.24. which is a resolution for valued shared services between the Township of Belleville and the Belleville Public School System. Really what this marks is the opening of conversations to, this is the first conversation of what we imagine a series of conversations to be between the Township and the school system to identify shared service first needs, and then how or plan to fulfill those needs to consolidate the funding from both entities, and also, and I don't want to get too ahead of myself, but hopefully save a few dollars for the taxpayers in the consolidation of such. I have to acknowledge Councilman Graziano. He's here tonight. I don't know if he wants to say anything. No, he waves his right. Okay. Madam President, if you'd like to have any comments on it.
Yes, definitely, and also would like to acknowledge Councilman Graziano. I know that this was an initiative that he started many years ago, and he also sat on the board and then was elected to the Township Council. So we're very grateful that you kept at this program to acknowledge shared services and exchange different ideas where the Board of Education could work with the township on different programs and see where there were some overlaps so that there could be a cost saving. So we had our first meeting. I understand that there are some smaller committees that are meeting, and we have another scheduled meeting coming up for an update. And just one thing that I want to say, while the Board of Education and the council will remain separate entities, there's no reason why we shouldn't open dialogue and work together. These are very healthy discussions to have, and keeping these lines of communication open only help us to acknowledge and tackle things that might arise in the future. So I'm very appreciative to the Township Council and to you folks here on the Board of Education, our superintendents and BA. Thank you. With that, do we have a report from Mr. Palladino?
No report this evening.
Okay, we have a report from our state monitor, Thomas Egan.
Good evening. I can certify that there's a review of the financial statements, that there's sufficient funds on record and in the banks to ensure that all obligations will be served through the end of the school year, and there will be no continued deficit. Secondly, away from that, the auditor from the school district finished their audit for the last school year that ended June 30th of 24, and we'll be coming to the February meeting to explain and give the entire results to the board in public as well as to the public. It did say that the school district had an outstanding year financially, and everything is going in the right direction. On a little bit of a cautious note, it's not official yet, but the word that I'm hearing from various sources is that the state aid for next year's budget, because we're starting the budget season, will be less. What's good for us in Belleville is that we've had a solid financial situation, that any reduction in state aid will be handled. It may cause some inconveniences, but we will prevail and move forward. There are other districts out there that don't have the same financial wherewithal that we have. Some of those districts may be in deep trouble. Last but not least, as our student representative mentioned, there was a meeting here last Thursday provided by the New Jersey Manufacturers Association, which over 50 students were able to see what advantages or what opportunities they may have by joining the trades. There were demonstrations of equipment with citing each of the different major trades: electricity, welding, which was a big hit. The students loved it. They were attentive. They had an opportunity to do some hands-on experiments with the equipment that was brought here by the New Jersey Manufacturers Association. It was just wonderful. The eyes of the kids were opened about the opportunities that the trades presented. The representative of the firm pointed out that some of these opportunities, a student can earn anywhere from $75,000 to $85,000. It had their attention, they worked at it, and it was good. The firm, there was more activity with the firm, but that's just the highlights of it. I think our relationship will continue with this firm, and when that happens, and if there's more information, it'll be brought to your attention at that time. So ends my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Egan. All right, and do we have a motion to open public participation on agenda items?
So moved.
And a second?
Yes, second.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
All right. Michael Sheldon, would you please come to the podium?
Good evening, everyone. Happy New Year. Michael Sheldon, 47 Floyd Street. Just a small number of questions tonight regarding the agenda. Firstly, 12.39. You're apparently going to hire a very large law firm, Schenck, Price, Smith, and King, as special counsel. There are no cost estimates listed, and I also would like to know why the need to hire special counsel. We apparently have been doing extremely well with the Bush Law Group. The Bush Law Group is also now a very large law group. They handle just about everything under the sun when it comes to the law. So could you please explain why you need to hire a second law firm as special counsel? Next question, 12.33. There is a new chapter, Faith-Based Recovery LLC, about to be hired at $600 a week, and it says for a minimum of 4 to 8 weeks. Is that $600 per week per student, or irrespective of the number of students involved? I also would like, if possible, board counsel to comment upon perhaps the slippery slope that you're entering into. You're apparently going to use public monies to hire a faith-based Christian organization, and that may be a problem with the Establishment Clause of the Constitution. So if that could be addressed, I would appreciate it. Mr. Egan already announced that the auditor, Mr. Bliss, I assume, will be back here next month to present the budget, or the audit for last year. I'm hoping that does happen, and as I will be asking once again later this evening, I'd like Mr. Egan, who has been speaking very enthusiastically about the financial stability of our district, to explain once again why last year he imposed a 6.4% tax increase on our district after Governor Murphy last February announced that we would be fully funded by the state to the tune of over $75 million. And last year, the general fund surplus was well over $10 million. So all these things considered, there was no justification for the 6.4% increase. On top of that, there's a cap, a 2% cap, and if that's exceeded, according to my understanding of the law, the voters have to be allowed to vote upon the approval of the budget. And yes, I know there are certain exceptions to the 2% cap, but I've asked Mr. Egan to explain why the 6.4% increase was necessary. I'd also like him to answer, finally, why, as Dr. Massagia said last May, as chair of the Finance Committee, she made multiple attempts to speak with Mr. Egan about the budget, and he apparently ignored every one of her phone calls and emails, which I find totally inexcusable. This is supposed to be a partnership. We have a finance committee, and he's supposed to be working with the same. So if you could address those questions, I would appreciate it. Thank you.
Mr. Egan, did you want to comment about next month's audit report?
The audit report that's going to be presented in February?
Yes, I think Mr. Sheldon just wanted to verify that that is taking place.
That's going to it's scheduled for the February board meeting.
Yes. Did you want to comment on anything else?
Not at this time, thank you.
Okay.
Mr. Sheldon, since I haven't reviewed the particular agreement, someone from my office may have, but I have not, so I can't comment on the exact services. I can't just make a determination that whether or not the name of an organization would violate the Establishment Clause. It all depends on the services and what's taking place. As I said, I cannot comment without having reviewed the agreement.
They've been hired just to deal with any conflicts that the original law firm has with this district. So if they cannot take on a case for one reason or another because they're conflicted, then we would bring in this firm. They're just there to deal with any conflicts.
Okay, do we have a motion to close public participation?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
And all those in favor? All right, we're moving on. We're going to move on to resolutions for personnel suggested by the superintendent. Items number 9.1 to 9.40. Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
That was Brenda. Ms. Pacheco?
Yes.
Yes. You got that, Mr. Palladino? All right. And Mr. Palladino, please call the roll.
Trustee Gillis.
Yes.
Trustee Leon.
Yes.
Trustee Massagia.
Yes.
Trustee Pacheco.
Yes.
Vice President Darrow.
Yes.
President Benamini.
Yes. And moving on to resolutions for curriculum and instruction, we have none. So we will go to resolutions for board action and board policy, suggestions by the superintendent, 11.1 to 11.25. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
And is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Palladino, please call the roll.
Trustee Gillis.
Oh,
Yes.
wait, I have to abstain.
Trustee Leon.
Yes.
Trustee Massagia.
Yes.
Trustee Pacheco.
Yes.
Vice President Darrow.
Yes.
President Benamini.
Yes to all except item 11.3. Okay, and moving on to purchasing and business services. Items suggested by the superintendent, we're going to table that 12.33. All right. So is there a motion for 12.1 to 12.44?
So moved.
And is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Palladino, please call the roll.
Trustee Gillis.
Yes.
Trustee Leon.
Yes.
Trustee Massagia.
Yes.
Trustee Pacheco.
Yes.
Vice President Darrow.
Yes.
President Benamini.
Yes. And on finance, resolutions 13.1 to item 13.7. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
Mr. Palladino, please call the roll.
Trustee Gillis.
Yes.
Trustee Leon.
Yes.
Trustee Massagia.
Yes.
Trustee Pacheco.
Yes.
Vice President Darrow.
Yes.
President Benamini.
Yes. All right, and we'll have a motion to open up public session number 2. Remarks from citizens. Is there a motion?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, Mr. Sheldon.
Good evening again, everyone. I want to start off asking if there are any updates with the parking garage. The bond for that in the amount of $11.9 million was entered into back in 2022. I know you've gone out for 2 successive bids, and each time the bids were rejected because you didn't have the finances available to build either concept. But I'd like to know if there's any progress at this point in realizing that parking garage. The district is about to complete the final payment on the $4.2 million state loan that was given to our district back in 2015 after the state discovered that our district was in such a financial mess. It also resulted in the appointment of Mr. Egan as our state monitor in May of 2014. Mr. Palladino has said on record that he expects to make the last payment this March. And in anticipation of that, I think the board collectively, on behalf of the community, should contact the DOE commissioner and ask, in light of all these financial considerations, the repayment of the loan in full, the fact that we've had huge general fund balance surpluses the last several years, there's no longer a need to have the state monitor in place. We need to have autonomy returned to our district. So I'm asking all of you to please combine forces, send a letter to the DOE commissioner saying that as soon as they deposit that last check, give us back control of our district. I'm sure you are all aware that Governor Murphy, earlier this month, during his State of the State address, expressed his desire to have smartphones effectively banned from the classroom. Based on the comments that Mr. Mignon made here last month, he and his colleagues are beset by the fact that while they're trying to educate our kids, they're fighting against children using TikTok and Instagram and everything else under the sun. I personally feel it would be in everyone's best interest to move forward with a policy here to ban cell phone, smartphone use from our classrooms. As you probably know, there are 2 bills currently making their way through the State House to do exactly this much, to order the DOE to come up with sweeping changes. I looked at Strauss-Esme just to see if we had any policies in place, and to save you the trouble of researching this yourself, it's District Policy 2363, entitled Pupil Use of Privately Owned Technology. Fact is here that this was drafted and in August of 2012, and hasn't been changed since that time. I think that your 2 committees, your governance committee, which is chaired by Mr. Leon and Mr. Darrow, as well as your instruction program, which is chaired by Ms. Pacheco and Ms. Gillis, need to sit down and try to preemptively map out a strategy before the state DOE imposes this very same edict upon us. Next thing, I've noticed throughout these years that many of our sister districts have 9 trustees. Nutley, for example, has 9, Bloomfield has 9, but we have 7. And I've never quite understood why we have 7 instead of 9. In fact, there's a state law, and I'll give you the reference here in case you want to search Title 18 yourself, 18A 12-11, and it explicitly says that Board of Educations are supposed to have 9 members. And it's obviously designed so that every year you would have 3 trustees up. So you would be possibly swapping out 1/3 of the board during each election cycle. Whereas in Belleville, we have this oddity where we have, this year happens to be the 3-member year, but then the other 2 years it's 2. And I'm just wondering, board members need to check with council. Are we in violation of state law that we should actually have 9 members here? And if that is the case, I'd like to know one way or the other. Based on my cursory research, I'm obviously not a lawyer, I'm a physics person, but it seems that we should have 9 members here. So something I'd like you to address. And then finally, we're all horrified by the ICE raids taking place. They've already been in Newark. As you should all know, that under federal law and the Fourth Amendment of the Constitution, ICE cannot enter a building without a warrant. So I'd like you to make sure that all district staff are aware of the fact that if ICE should ever come here looking for employees or children, whatever, that they are not to allow them in until the superintendent and board council have a chance to make sure that they have a valid warrant, all right? We have a very particular sensitivity here in Belleville. More than 75% of our students at this present time are Latino, and we need to be cognizant of that fact and not let ICE and other political forces run haphazard over the rule of law. So I would hope that you would make sure that everyone in this district is aware of their constitutional rights. I have everything posted on my Facebook page. If you want to reference it, I have it from different legal sites to help immigrants who might have to deal with these issues know what their rights are. But if you could answer some of my questions during the second session, I would appreciate it. Thank you.
Mr. Sheldon, we already have everything in place for ICE. We've already had the administrators are all pretty much aware of the procedures, the protocols on what to do just in case there's any type of situation that develops at the schools. So we're all set with that and ready to go. Thank you.
And Mr. Sheldon, the statute that you cited permits 9, 7, actually 3, 5, or 7 members. So it's not just 9, it actually permitted districts to be structured with a series of different number of board members. 18A 12-11, the Board of Education shall consist of 9 members, or it shall consist of 3, 5, or 7 members, as and if it has been so determined pursuant to law or had been done by referendum as provided by this chapter, who shall be elected at annual school elections in the districts for terms of 3 years. That I couldn't tell you, but we can look at it. Hmm? Well, we can see if there has been what the history has been, but remember, what the school districts have been, and they've been charged with, educating the students back to the 1800s. So it all depends on when school districts were actually created and how. So we can look at it. No, I'm saying we can look at it. I'm not. You don't have to file an Oprah request. I'm saying we can look at it. May I?
Yeah.
The board president has given me authorization to look at it, so we can look at it. Thank you.
Thank you. And
As far as the cell phones go, we have been meeting and discussing some of those concerns several months ago. We will be meeting again, trying to schedule some meetings to sort of come up with some kind of ideas but we are still waiting to see where the governor goes with the policy changes that he wants to make before we have to re-implement some of the changes that he's telling us to put in. So we're waiting to see to get that signed and then move forward. But we are talking about it and suggesting different ideas, ways that we could incorporate this policy into place. Because it's going to take a little work with some of the conditions that, their families have to understand, they got to be involved, and the process that we're going to have to go through. So we're on top of it, we know what we have to do, but we're still waiting for the governor to make his call, and the DOA is sure is going to pass it on to the districts and tell us to do whatever we have to do. So we'll be ready to go sooner or later. Yes, they do. They have them hanging in a bag, you put them in there, right. So we've talked about that. Some of the union members we've discussed it with have brought that to our attention as well. I mean, Ramsey, they use a lockbox, they use a lock, which can be opened, so the kids put their phones in already. So that's already happening in Ramsey. So again, we are aware of all the different districts, trying to implement this policy, but at the same time, some districts are also backing out of it because there's been quite a few issues. So we're trying to get all those issues out of the way before we do something and move forward. Thank you.
And just so you know, we have broached the subject of going to a 9-member board. In fact, Trustee Muniz has brought it up a few times, but we were all satisfied with being a 7-person board, but let's see what the attorney does come back with. I think that would be fair moving forward. So thank you. All right, and now we have Eric. I don't know how to pronounce your last name, Eric. I'm sorry.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Eric Goodberhaley, 9 North 8th Street. I have just a couple of concerns, and it goes to School 4 and the transportation issue. I'm the guy who's been emailing you about the school buses not conforming with the appropriate laws of New Jersey and putting out their stop signs, creating a hazard for the kids. I don't seem to get much out of it or anything like that because they still do it. So we're there every morning with our daughter in high school, and we have a child at school number 4. So I can assure you that it's not being done properly. All right? If you had the police officers that you sent those notices out for the amount of tickets that people would get if they violated the various laws out there doing their jobs, then, maybe they would see the school buses and be able to report directly back to you. Because my wife is here, she can attest, we pick our kid up every day. Most of the time, the Belleville cops are double parked and on their phones. I'm a cop, and that's embarrassing. So now, in a more personal setting, I wanted to ask the superintendent how my name got to a police officer that I work with about my email to you. And I'll say it again, Michael Minichini is the brother of the chief of police. I wrote you an email, superintendent of schools, and I got a call from Mike Minichini, who works with me, not the Belleville School Board, about my email. Why?
Good question. I wouldn't have any idea.
What are you doing?
I don't have any idea. Well, that's not my concern as far as you getting, as far as somebody you're contacting. I don't get involved outside of the realm of what's happening.
I just think it's gross.
This happened after school hours or whenever this happened.
It wasn't after.
Maybe it was something.
It was during school hours that I received
No,
a phone call.
the incident happened, but your situation with the chief or whomever it may be.
It came from your office, sir. Someone
Nobody in my office. Nobody in my office
put my name in someone else's mouth.
Nobody in my office. There's only two of us.
You had a hard time understanding it last time, and you're having a hard time understanding it. I'll talk to you guys. Someone from my police department called me about an email that I sent him. How is my name going out of district to a police department about what I'm communicating as a parent of 2 students? Thank you.
You're welcome.
And after you sent out that email, somebody hit me, and the cop didn't give that person a ticket. Have a good day, guys.
Thank you. Enjoy the evening.
Do we have a motion to close public participation?
I make a motion,
So
yes.
moved. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, and we're going to move on to our closing statements and committee reports. And I'm sure, Mr. Sheldon, you'll get a lot of information when you hear what some of the committees are doing with a couple of things that you expressed interest in. So let's first call Trustee Jean Gillis, who has a committee report and comments.
Good evening. I'd like to take a moment to provide a brief update on a few key initiatives we're working on. First, we're thoroughly analyzing the applications provided to students to ensure there's no overlap and that each tool serves a unique and valuable purpose. Additionally, our curriculum teams are enhancing professional development opportunities for our teachers, allowing them to refine their skills and further strengthen their expertise. On the 16th, staff at the elementary level had choices of professional development that was provided by district directors, supervisors, and teacher coaches. We continue to collaborate closely with our directors of curriculum and instruction to enhance RTI strategies and support student success. As mentioned before, the high school hosted a successful visit from the New Jersey Manufacturing Extension Program, which welcomed over 60 students for a hands-on experience with welding and laser etching. And finally, on January 6th, CASA expanded its scope to include 3rd to 6th grade, providing valuable academic support for all students with additional assistance available for our multilingual learners, and we remain committed to fostering a strong academic foundation for all students. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Trustee Pacheco?
Good evening. As a little reminder, the business office staff is hosting extended evening hours, assisting parents with completing the 2024-2025 school meals and some ABT applications. We're accepting meals payment and other assistance related to the child's food service account. We're located at Belleville Board of Education, 56 Ralph Street, Belleville. No appointment necessarily. We open next Tuesday, the 28th, 4 to 7, and Thursday, 30 to 4 to 7. Welcome, everyone. One reminder, we have a winter recess. District week closed February 14 to February 17. Thanks. Good night.
Thank you, Trustee Pacheco. Trustee Dr. Misagia?
Good evening. First, I would like to congratulate the students who received awards this month in both writing and math. Our students demonstrate so many talents academically, artistically, in sports that make us so proud. And I have to tell you, it's my favorite part of coming to the board meetings each month to see just what they do and to see that so many of our students across the board and so many grade levels really have so many wonderful talents that we get to see. I attended committee meetings last week for personnel and finance. Mr. Egan shared with you the information that was discussed at the finance committee meeting, and that the audit report will be presented next month at our public session, so you'll get that information as well. That's all I have to share this evening, so progress.
Thank you. And Trustee Leon?
Thank you, Madam President, and good evening, everyone. We have some individual highlights I would like to touch on and an exciting announcement for this coming spring. First, Aiden Carrero achieved a remarkable high series score of 671 at the Essex County Boys Bowling Championships. Our cheerleaders have also made us proud by qualifying for nationals and recently competing in the Cheerleading Association All-Star Competition in Dallas, Texas. Our girls wrestling team had an amazing showing in the Essex County Championships with stand-up performances, including Isabella Luna taking first place at 152, Cassandra Cross and Tiffany Guanoquiza Restrepo earning second place at 145 and 132 respectively, and Sheila Dickerson securing third place at 138. Last but not least, I'm thrilled to announce that we will have a varsity girls flag football team competing in the Super Football Conference this upcoming spring. So a very good showing for our girls this past month. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Leon. Vice President Darrow?
We certainly appreciate all those who came out tonight or watching us online. I would like to congratulate all of those that were awarded this evening from our talented young writers. I know they all left from, but to our financial math wizard, and for recognizing the Students of the Month. We have some great things that we're doing that they're being awarded for. I'm very happy to hear that. We also, and I don't want to, Mr. Egan and Candy did allude to the New Jersey Manufacturing Extension Program we had last Thursday. I had a chance to come here and to participate in it as well. It was very informative. It offered our students a great opportunity to see what might be available to them as a career in the trade or manufacturing fields. A lot of hands-on went on. I think our students were over-enthusiastic where they didn't know what to expect. But ultimately, we had more and more students coming into the presentation, which doesn't happen that often, which is great to see. I also had a chance to try some of the welding and some of the things out as well, so it was exciting to see some new initiatives, and hopefully we'll be able to continue this partnership with that going forward. I am chair of the governance committee. We had our initial meeting last week. This year, we hope to be reviewing many of the policies out there that should be updated and adjusted accordingly. One, for example, is our public participating in meetings policy, which, Mr. Sheldon, I'm sure you'll appreciate that because it's near and dear to your heart. Also, to help create new policies for us that may have not previously existed, but have become needed over time. And the 2363, I think, was one you were talked about. That's one I'm glad that you gave me the number. This way it's easier for me to find. I think the communication one, just for the future, so we know it. Just a thought, just because we've been doing something the same way we have done it for many years does not mean we shouldn't be open for change, or at least to be able to present an opportunity to try things that make us better or more transparent as a district. I've been also spending a lot more time with our local parent organizations, the HSAs, the OPEs. As a liaison, I've been learning firsthand a lot from them and hope to become a more valuable resource to their interfaces with the administration and to the board, as much help as I could be to them. Thank you all for coming out tonight. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Vice President Darrow. All right, and just some final comments. Again, welcome back, everyone. We're reaching this midpoint in the school year, so I know everybody is gearing up as we're, at the top of the hill, as they say, and getting ready to ride down. It's 2025. This is exciting. There's new beginnings, new opportunities. The board trustees are actively reviewing policies because there are many changes that are coming up. Also reviewing curriculum and the budget, because this is that time of the year. I have no doubt that this board will make great strides on the work of previous boards and the past superintendents, so I just want to thank you all for collaborating and spending the time and dedication for being up here together. Let's continue to make a profound difference in the lives of our students and for all of the staff and the families here in our lovely township of Belleville. So with that said, I'd like to wish everyone a good night. Enjoy your winter break, and we will see you for the next meeting in February. The next meeting is February 24th. Thank you. Do I have a motion to close our meeting?
So moved.
And a second?
Second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Have a good night.